Here we are again.
Hello, I am Balzac from the planet Uranus. I hear that there is going to be a discussion about ancient aliens. Is this true?
Yes. This book, right here, Eric Van Daniken.
That is a very good book.
Dude, it's just me. It's just me. No, it's just me this time.
I was a little worried.
I know, because there's been so many wild guests.
There's been so many guests off the beginning of this show.
I know.
That I was like, what's going on?
It's just me, dude. It's just me.
Okay, that's fine. I'm happy to see that, to see you under there. I thought maybe you were taken from us, speaking of
just me.
Alien abductions.
Nah, dude. How's it going, dude?
Hanging out. Got news. We're going to go live May the 1st live from Machete Comics.
Right
together,
on.
In person.
Call Huey Lewis, because we got some news.
We got some news. That's right. May the 1st. That's a Monday.
May the 1st be with you.
May the 1st, just a couple of days before May the 4th. Coincidentally, some Star Wars news yesterday. So May the 1st, we're gonna do this thing live. Maybe on the deck.
I like that.
Maybe on the deck. Maybe on the deck with the squirrels. That'd be a nice night.
And the ducks, man. The ducks are coming right up to us out there. We made a pond.
J.J. Abrams lens flare things I got going on tonight.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You gotta like that. Mm-hmm. You gotta like that.
So that's going to happen. That's
if I can lens flare anything.
Going to come back and hang out for a couple of days.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
awesome.
All right. Things are good. Yeah, just chilling. I'm actually
bitching.
Going to be in the woods for a couple of days coming up, so I'm just trying to get some things done before that happens. So.
Did you ever watch the show Naked and Afraid on the History Channel?
You know, I keep hearing about it, but I have not watched it.
It's like 15 seasons of it, right? It's so good. My folks were over for dinner the other night, and my mom hates that kind of stuff. First, she's very shy with nudity.
Dorothy.
And but we threw it on after dinner because they come over for dinner every weekend, right? Yeah. And I threw it on. It wasn't this weekend; it was a weekend before. And it's such an intense show. If you haven't seen Naked and Afraid, what they do is they take a male and a female and they strip them down to their nudies. They're bouncing around in the nude, and they take them to exotic places, like like in the middle of the Amazon or stuff like that, and they give them, like, one can bring a machete, one can bring a fire starter, or a net, and they go out there and So you're not doing that?
No. There'll be some paddle boarding, but there'll be life jackets.
Like they give each other a survival rating, or that's showed us. I could see your survival rating at about a 2, whereas mine, I said to Lonnie, was a 0.05. Where as soon as they suggested it to me, I would have backed out.
Well, you love camping.
Yeah, so I'm a camper.
I go a little higher than a 2, but just because I enjoy camping substantially, and
you have to watch this show before you gauge yourself on whether I'm what number 2. You are, because holy cow, man, the bugs, like, these people are covered in bugs. It looks like they came out of a horror movie, because it's amazing. Anyway, I highly recommend it if you're into that kind of thing. And it's funny too, because my wife and I watch it all the time, and we were out working in our forest today, and she's like, you know what, jokingly, right? She's like, we can make fire out of this because this is nice and dry. Da, 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 da. We're like learning things from the show, right? Like how to survive out in our backyard, I guess, with our 10 feet of forest.
Yeah, but you got some glorious. You guys are like 30 degrees there this week, aren't you?
It was 10, 11 today. Yeah,
I heard it was going to be a warm one, which is
it was nice.
Always exciting for Ontario.
Yeah, we have a new pond that we put out in our back forest area, and the ducks are in there now. They've just taken right to it. Sheldon and Amy, who come back every year, they're in there. They're loving it. Which is great. So, so last week, and I just got to reiterate. Remember last week, buddy, we had our contest. So,
absolutely.
As I mentioned, I'm going to mail these out after the long weekend, because there's no sense mailing out before the long weekend, because that would have been insanity. So we've got this going to that's going to Kim, right?
That's going to Kim.
Kimberly Burke from we'll just say Port Perry, I guess, right? The Port Perry area there.
Beautiful. It's real funny, because on a side note to that, my son was looking through some old graduation photos of me and Rob McCacker and a few other people, and we all graduated in 1990 from Blackstock Public School, and old Kim Parr / Kim Burke.
Kim Parr was in there.
Right in there. Kim she had a nice little 80s thing going there, sponsored by Guns N' Roses. She looked great.
Beautiful. I love it. Okay, well, there you go, Kim. So that's going to be, I'm mailing that out this week. And this one excuse me. This one goes to our buddy Remy Dufresne.
Look at that.
Now I've got yeah, it's a nice one, huh?
So, much to Ashley Lindley and Ray Routh's chagrin, because they really wanted that. You know?
Well, sidebar, the next contest is going to be on Twitter. And it's funny because there were so many jokes about what's Facebook. I make so much business off of Facebook, my friends, and that's media, right? That's the online media. Is like you find your niche and you go for it. Like if I need to fill a spot, if I have a spot available for lessons, I put it on Facebook and it's filled. You know what I mean? If I have some books available, I put it on there and automatically I get hits. Yeah, I love Facebook. So this time we're going to do the contest on Twitter because my Twitter's taken a big leap. I gained like 100 followers last week, which is pretty rad. Yep. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So it's taken a big boost. I'm well like over 1,000, well over 1,000 now. Yeah, so we're gonna do a contest on there next. Not sure what it's gonna be. Sidebar to the last name Dufresne. Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah, but there was Dufresne, Andy Dufresne on Shawshank Redemption. Seinfeld.
No, we're going Seinfeld. We're going Seinfeld.
Dufresne. Oh my God.
Okay, restaurant.
Yeah.
George Costanza.
Poppy's restaurant. Or Very Bad Men restaurant.
It was the episode where they're basically waiting to get seated. That whole episode.
Oh, can't stand. No, sorry.
Dufresne? I say Dufresne. Table. He say Dufresne. Table of 3. That's Dufresne.
Oh, you're thinking about the Chinese restaurant one where he goes Cartwright.
Cartwright, isn't Dufresne in there as well?
Yeah, but Dufresne party, but Dufresne, and then he said Cartwright.
Sorry.
And yeah, but you're right. He said Dufresne. Then he says Cartwright, and then George goes up and says Costanza, party of 3, and he goes, I say Cartwright. No one answer. I give away table, and he goes Cartwright. And then he did Cartwright and associated with the show Bonanza.
Okay.
And that's why. So
where's Dufresne? Where's that?
He would have been like probably just a Dufresne 4. Dufresne.
Is that what that is? Okay, because I know it's in that episode. Okay, I just couldn't pinpoint the one.
And then he did Cartwright because George was Costanza.
Okay. I got the episode right. I got the total moment wrong.
There you
I apologize. To sign felonies. Okay. Hey. So that was just I like sidebars. So this one. So this one goes to Remy Dufresne. Dufresne, table of 3. There we go. Beautifulness. And what we got coming up next, I don't know. I haven't really, I got some more. I'm not going to send like great big posters because it's amazing. Like, you really should check out shipping on stuff because it's really not that much, especially flat shipping. Like if you order one comic book, generally it's like, whoa, I got to spend like, $8 shipping on one comic book. But if you get 3 comic books, it's the same amount of money.
Yeah.
They just, the government or whoever does the post office, the post office, whoever does the billing, right? I'm not doing the get off your yard thing. I'm just saying it's not my fault.
That's another Seinfeld reference.
Yeah, it is too.
The government.
The government, but I don't charge. No, but a lot of people are turned off from shipping, right?
Yeah, I know.
But they give you a flat rate for shipping, but you can put a bunch of stuff in that $10, which is the people that are in the know usually get a few things, which is rad. But anyway, no charge on these, my friends. And the next one's going to be on Twitter. I don't know what we're going to do, man. We'll have to.
They're a big hit. I think that you're on to something there, regardless. Just to get it out there, and right. I think it looks. They look great.
You know what I did? You know what I did for Teenage Chris?
You went and got some stuff from the dollar bin.
No, from the auction. I got a stack of nudie books.
Amazing! Oh, look at that! I've had that. I had that one. Let's go one by one. Let's see which ones I've had. I had that one for sure. One for sure.
The funny thing is that so I got this stack for $5. All right. I go on these auctions, and now sidebar to comic book collectors and any kind of collectors. There's online auctions, and they're from your area. You just got to find the right site.
Yeah.
I go on there and I'll throw $1 on stuff, and if I win, it's great. I win. If I didn't, it's like, okay, well, I didn't lose out on anything. So I found these 2 stacks of nudie books.
Woo! For
Playboy mag. You know what? The articles are actually not that bad.
Of course, they're good.
But it's funny because that was the joke. But I needed some gentleman magazines for down in my back cave. And so I just threw $5 on this stack that's huge, and I put them online, and people are like freaking out about how much these are worth, apparently, because these are in mint as well, right?
Yeah,
okay. So of course we got the Kiss one.
Yeah,
not just me and Kiss. I had to get the Kiss. I didn't have to get the Kiss one; it was there. It's just like, holy cow. Now, this, dude, Sable, WWF.
I have that
WWF, not WWE.
I had that one. We all had that one. Oh
Sable? Aren't these great?
Can't wait to be there May 1st.
Okay, dude, this is one of your this is one of your personal favorites.
Here we go.
Charlize Theron.
Oh, Miss Charlize.
Look at that, dude.
She is absolutely right on the list there.
Okay,
but she wasn't in that. She wasn't in that article nude, I don't believe. I think
she is. No, she is. I looked at it. She is.
She is. Jesus. Guess I'm taking something back with me. Anyways.
I'm not. No, hey, dude. Souvenirs, right? Souvenirs.
Daphne. I'll give you $1 for it.
$2. Daphne Deckers. From I don't know who this. I guess she's from the 007s. I don't know.
I guess she must have been in one of the 007s. Yeah.
But then we got Gene Simmons' wife, Shannon Tweed.
Always a win.
Okay, we got that one. Here we go. Dude, the Babes of Baywatch. Again, like teenage Chris is just like, yeah, dude.
The only one that really came out of that one. I mean, Pam did well, obviously. But
there's some fantastic photos in there. Now, this one, dude, this one is worth some cash, and this is a brilliant book, actually, because it goes through like the 50 most beautiful women of all time. And this is the 45th anniversary edition, man. Wow, this thing is incredible. Complete with, I can't show it, I guess, but a Marilyn Monroe centerfold, because she's the #1 most beautiful. So this is great because they go through, I'll just pick a page here, and they're doing the 50 most beautiful women of all time. Okay, so at 89 we've got Joan Crawford. 84 at Joan Crawford, looking really creepy. Wait, let's back it up, dude. Let's go to 85. Lonnie Anderson, personal favorite.
WKRP.
Yeah, and then 84 is Joan Crawford. 83 is Janet Pilgrim. 82 Jean Tierney. 81 Shannon Tweed. 80 Linda Evans. You know what I mean? Like, and it just goes on.
Who is the top 5 then?
Okay, so the #1, as I mentioned, was Marilyn Monroe. And then we have, I have to open up the,
very carefully.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so #2, we've got Jane Mansfield. #2.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, number 3, Raquel Welch. Come on.
She wouldn't be my #3, but hey.
Oh, well, you're not that old, though. You gotta.
I know. Yeah,
there's some classy photos I've been sharing of her on Facebook. Again, Facebook. Number four, Bridget Bardot. Again, you probably wouldn't remember her at all. #5, Cindy Crawford, which, I don't know.
She was a big deal.
Yeah, but I don't know if she'd be in my... Anyway, this one here, collector's edition, man. Like, this book's worth some... This is like a $30 at least book right here. And it's in mint. Okay, so who do we got next? We have... gold medal ice skater, Katrina Witt. Nude.
Katrina Witt, she was a hot one. Everyone loved her.
I don't remember her. Okay, again, Pamela Anderson, Canadian vixen.
Yeah, I mean, she is definitely going to be...
I think she's been on the cover more than anyone, I think, right?
Yeah, more than anyone.
Okay, now here's some classic Ginger Spice action.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I've looked at this one. It's they're like at the very beginning of her career type thing. Here we've got the girls of ACC. So these are college girls. If you're into the and Mike Tyson interview.
There you go. This one, it was this pre-tattoo, pre-face tattoo.
Yeah, I believe so. Oh, it must be because this is like 98, right?
Wow.
Okay, now here's another one. Cindy Crawford.
Always. Yeah, that was a big deal. When Cindy Crawford did the nudity, that people
it was a big one. Well, there you go, Cindy Crawford. No, this is my wife used to watch this show for a while as a guilty pleasure over the COVID there, because I think she just ran out of things to watch, and that was one of the Real Wives of something, and this Lisa Rinna girl was on there all the time. And I saw her I saw her all the time. And it's just like she's got a lot of work done to her, but she's very striking. So I was looking forward to this.
Coincidentally, you know who she was married to?
I do, but I can't remember. Lonnie knows. Our producer knows.
Ulysses from Clash of the Titans. What was his name? Okay. Harry Hamlin? What was it? Harry Hamlin. Yeah, she was married to him.
He's on the show there, buddy.
Stupid things we
No, he's on the show. That's right. Okay, we got Downtown Julie Brown.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That was the thing, because MTV. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And finally, we've got Karen McDougal, Ultimate Playmate of the Year.
I was a big fan of Carol Wakeland. She was Toronto. She had the Toronto Maple Leafs jersey on. She won some contest, and she was. I remember when she was on the cover of that, everyone because you had Maxim,
Stuff.
and stuff, and those ones all competing. But Playboy was the one that actually everyone got naked in, obviously. But Kara Wakelin, I remember when Kara Wakelin, and she used to go in, and I don't know if Dean was there at the time, but she used to go into Edge 102 and do the morning show thing, and people were losing their mind over her. And I think she did Howard Stern.
Split the screen.
I think she did Howard. I think she did Howard Stern. Oh, sorry, that's my bad.
Oh, it's your.
I think she did Howard Stern, and so that was a big deal because she was like this. Other than Pamela Anderson, she was like this Canadian girl she had the Leafs shirt on, and you can Google it. But she was. I remember being a big fan of her.
Nice, right on, yeah. So Teenage Chris is pretty stoked with those. Again, they're the online auctions, and they're from your area. So everything. One of the guys I go to is like, dude, he's two streets away. Like I ride my bike there to pick up some stuff. I got a Mike Palmetier rookie card. I don't just buy nude women on there. That's the first time I've actually. That's the first time I've actually ever bought nudie magazines.
You know what,
on there. I was kind of shocked.
I'll bet you this. If that's the first time Sable was in there, and that's the first Cindy Crawford, I'll bet you those two have to be worth $1 or $2. But that guy, if he's letting them go for $5, I would have thought that he would have researched it. But I would think that they would.
These are auctions. And so what happens here with these auctions is a lot of the times it's somebody's either left their house and left all their goods in there, or it's like those ones that show with the. The storage place, like Storage Wars. Some of them I go to, and it's like some guy at a storage locker, and it's like, whoa, holy crap. And so it's our finds, but there's other stuff on there, dudes. Like I found some comic books like Daredevil and Spider-Man, and they go up to like $50. And there's been some chairs and stuff that I've wanted to get for outdoor, indoor, and the same thing. You're bidding on them at $5, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm going to steal this chair for $5," and all of a sudden it's up to $50.
I'm selling a bit on Facebook Marketplace right now, but I haven't actually bought anything. I mean, I just did the card show on the weekend, and that was fun to find some vintage comics and a few things there.
Nice.
But it's I'm taking things out of the house right now. I'm trying to get rid of things from the house right now first, and then before I put things back in. But that's cool. That's a good haul.
Well, I'm filling the back cave, right? There's stuff that I'm getting rid of. I should have had them here. Those little Superman T cards that I got from the '60s. Holy cow! Again, like for $1. It's like, wow, if I could get those for $1, it'd be fantastic. I don't know what I'll do with them.
I'll take them when I come. I'll take them when I come.
One day I'll find a use for them. I got doubles of that one. Anyway. Okay, dude, let's keep moving. So that was good, though, to relax and chat for a bit there, and we'll have another contest coming up soon. Thanks to everybody for entering in. Again, Facebook, dude, is like, I'm a Viking on Facebook, which is really, really funny.
It's so funny right now because it's there. 1 week it's like, your TikTok is rolling, and then the next week it's, but you got to keep up on YouTube Shorts, and then it's like, don't sleep on Facebook Reels. And then, so I'm just saying, every week it's just like they're all competing with each other right now. And
one thing that I find, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, and the one thing that's happened in the last little bit, which is incredible over the last 2 weeks, is that now subscriber count on YouTube apparently doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, that's good, because that's a pain in the ass.
And now it's about the shorts and sort of the content that you're putting up. So that's cool. That's cool.
Cool. Well, I was gonna say, like, everybody's worried about what format is the hottest one, but as a creator, what you need to look at is what one works best for you, right? I seem to have a solid fan base on Facebook, so not only do they give me likes, they actually buy my product. Whereas on some Twitter, I get likes and whatever, but I don't think I get anybody going right to my website directly from there. But again, my solid fan base is on Facebook. Could be because of my age. I don't know, but I don't question it. I just go with it. Now I still put my stuff on the other one, but that's just my advice to creators. When you find, like, because you look at it, like you look at where your views are. Like, again, my Facebook or my YouTube has the most, which I should focus more on, but that's another story. Anyway, that's just advice to creators. Don't, if you're big on Facebook, you're big on Facebook. So many people say to me, "Okay, Grandpa," but hey.
Well, you know what though, I fight with it all the time too, because I had the most followers on Facebook, like as far as like that's where it is. But it's like now there's like even with this show, or even with like when I rebroadcast this show onto something, it's like it gets hidden behind a wall now. It's very interesting how it's kind of going out, whereas before it would flow. Like when you set up, like we set this up as like a as an event, right? Ancient Alien Theories on Live, and it's airing on all the platforms. But I noticed that lately on Facebook they're not pushing it ahead as far. But I do notice that you get a ton of engagement when you put up your art stuff and you engage your people to come back to you on some stuff.
Definitely.
And I definitely do. I get tons of engagement on there when I post, like, if I'm somewhere.
You do not. Nobody likes you. Come on, be honest.
Well, I get more. Let's not forget. I do have the face that people want to punch. That hasn't changed. That hasn't changed.
Just kidding.
But when I'm on tour, I get more engagement on Facebook because I'm. Like,
I know. I just like to befuddle you.
I go here. Well, that's. It's fine. I'm fine with it. However, I do have a nice little Twitter war going this week, which is a lot of fun. So that's
easy to do. That's not tough. Okay, let's switch over. Let's roll our conspiracy theories and hit up with some Simpsons, and then the basics of the ancient aliens.
Sorry.
That's all right. Producer's having a rough one. She's having flashbacks from some.
Well, I'll always have my crank calls. Hello, old lady from Titanic? You stink!
All right, so that is what we're going to do here is we are going to talk about the Simpsons and how they've predicted the future on so many occasions and how freaking funny it is. Now, that one right there was number...
Yeah,
that was number 5 on my list.
Let me put this into it here for a second.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it to it, buddy.
Well, you rhyme them off. I'll see how many are on here. I just need to.
Oh yeah, I've got a whole bunch of them here, but I just kind of focused in.
Let me rhyme off the Collider. The Collider list just came out last week, so let me just do the Collider list. I'm sure you got a ton of them on it. So what I'll do is I'll just run through them quick here and see how many are on there. So
yeah, some of them are kind of like the smartwatch thing, but that was done on Star Trek too. That's what I mean. Like some of them, horse meat. That was Three-eyed fish is a big one, but I kind of narrowed this down from that. Baby translator, right? Michael's Dink.
That's happening now. Actually.
No, I know. I got that on this list here. That's Lady Gaga, but she was going to be on there anyway. Maybe, yeah.
I have some clips.
Yeah, we got clips of these ones. Let's switch over to my list here because it's more direct. It's more focused.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Here's what we got. So there are tons of them, as I was saying. Like, we got there's the smart watches, but that could be Star Trek. That Star Trek actually did that before, as well as like the TV FaceTime. Star Trek did that. Yes, The Simpsons did do it. We also have The Matrix 4. Yeah, they predicted that, but come on.
Yep.
The FIFA corruption is a pretty good one. All right, that's not bad. The Siegfried and Roy Tiger attack, that's a pretty good one.
That's a good one.
Like, these don't make my top, but these are just pretty good ones, right?
They're also relatively fairly obvious too.
This is what I'm saying, buddy. Yeah. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. All right. And the Lady Gaga Super Bowl one, to me, that's just like, okay, well, chances are. Right? Chances are. And the covering of Michelangelo's Dink, that's pretty, yeah. I could, well, the way the world is right now, I can't probably say the word dink on most formats and most coverages, right?
Ding, 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 ding.
Right? Like you couldn't do that these days, which is so funny. So that's kind of a given. Now, so the first one I showed there, the clip of, was the merger of Disney and Fox, right? Now you caught that, eh, buddy? Yep. Now that's a good one. I wouldn't have seen that coming. Like that was pretty good.
Now that it's come true, you could see why it could happen. I mean, who would have thought that WWE...
I'm talking back then. Back then, it's kind of like that's a big prediction.
Totally.
Those are two global maniacs coming together, right? That's not like attacker attacking somebody after years of antagonizing.
No,
right, buddy. Okay, so now I'll let you throw in whatever ones you want after I'm. So my fourth one is the Trump presidency, and I don't know if we have a clip of that one. Do we have the Trump presidency one? No, this is an obvious one, right? But not obvious it's obvious that I would pick this. Do you have it there, Lonnie?
we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Well,
We're still cleaning up after Trump, right? So the Trump episode, that's my number 4. That's a good one. Did you ever think he would have become president, dude? Like back then, were you thinking like
no? Because I mean, how much did we? Not smarter Americans, but I'm saying the Americans knew more about him than we did outside of WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5. I'm just saying
and
Trump
TV show.
And the TV. Oh, the TV show was late. The TV show was late. I think that when he did say something on Howard Stern years ago that if he were to run for president, he would have ran as a Republican because they're stupid.
Right. I remember you mentioning that.
And he can manipulate them. So that was the first bit. That was like in 83 or 84 where he said something like that. And that lays a nice foundation. But I never would have thought that he would have won.
No, me neither. I never thought that either. That's pretty wild, you know. And then when they talk about it, it's kind of like, oh, wouldn't that be? Well, like back then, I remember thinking, oh, that'd be. I actually thought back then, it'd be like, oh, wow, look at that guy. He's already got lots of money. He wouldn't steal our money. But it's funny how times change. Number 3 is COVID. And we have the COVID one here, I believe.
Gotta get a juicer. Gotta drink juice. Lose weight. Won't get chest pains from answering the phone anymore.
Please don't tell the supervisor I have the flu.
I've been working with a shattered pelvis for 3 weeks.
Oh, my juice loosener's never gonna come.
Hey, Dad, this came for you in the mail.
How can you not laugh at that? And of course, when at first there was all kinds of rumors where it started now, but off the beginning it came out of Japan, right? It was or China. Yeah, but that was great. So that's cool. Number 3 is that they predicted COVID.
Amazing. I like that one. That one's
the Conan O'Brien ones are the best, right?
He's so funny.
They're so good. Okay, now the second one is a modern day one. Now, I don't think this whole prediction's done yet. Can we show it? Okay.
Though it was unusual to spend 28 minutes reporting on a doll, this reporter found it impossible to stop talking. It's just really fascinating news, folks. Good night. Oh, and the president was arrested for murder. More on that tomorrow night. Or you can turn to another channel. Oh, do not turn to another channel.
Cool. Okay, so all the world's going nuts for Barbie right now. The president's been arrested for murder. That's the only part that hasn't come true yet. Yeah. Or will it? That's why I love that's why this one is my number 2, because we could come back on another episode and follow this one up, buddy?
Could you fucking imagine
if he does eventually get charged for murder? That would be insane. That's why that's my number 2. Right? That's why that's my number 2, because
that was also kind of a bit of a blanket statement, mind you. However, that a president was arrested for murder. He didn't specifically say Trump there. However,
no, but it was the same time as the Barbie thing is my point. That the world, if you watch that episode, the world's freaking out about Malibu Stacy again after she died out. So what's happening right now is Barbie's everybody's got them as their, their little things on Facebook and Twitter and everything. And the former president's been arrested for murder. So anyway, I don't think that one's
table
done yet.
that. Let's see.
To be continued, my friends. To be continued. Number 1, buddy. What do you think my number 1 is? You just get one guess, and then I'm going to tell you.
Oh my God.
It has nothing to do with Mike Tyson.
No. I'm just trying to think of some of these different conspiracies that they predicted.
And do we have it, Lonnie?
I think weed is legal.
No, but I knew you were going to say that one. I stayed away from weed because I thought everybody would think that was an obvious one. Here it is, buddy.
Smells delightful.
All right, 3-eyed fish.
Can I have your plate, Mr. Burns?
Leave it. He's blown it for sure.
Ruined before it hit the ground.
Mm-hmm. There we go. That's my because that, and then they found a three-eyed fish near a nuclear power plant in Portugal, I believe it was. Yeah.
Wow.
Because that was iconic back when I was. Who doesn't remember the three-eyed fish? Right?
That's an early episode too.
That's what and it just kind of set the standard. You know what I mean? Is what you're going to see on The Simpsons. And again, that was back in the day where they're great.
You can touch on that early phase of The Simpsons when they were trying to get away with some stuff, but you can definitely tell also the early ones just by the different voices and how they were drawn.
And the pupils in Homer's eyes were a little bigger in the Conan O'Brien ones. Really good stuff. So anyway, that's our Simpsons, buddy. Do you have any you want to add to that?
Well, I think a couple
else
things
you want to mention?
I think a couple of things that not necessarily on a controversial side, but the left-handed store Leftorium. The Leftorium. That there's a few of those around now. There's actually left-handed stores now.
Right.
Which
there is.
I thought that was kind of cool, and maybe that was a byproduct out of The Simpsons, where they're like, we need to do that. So that one was kind of cool. The legal weed thing was cool. I think the baseball episode with Daryl Strawberry's head almost exploding because of all the guys from the steroids and stuff. I thought that was interesting because that basically that eliminated like 10 of the top players in the history of the game from ever playing. Mark McGuire and they all got busted for steroids and they just weren't afraid to talk about it. So I thought that one was really great. That side of it and how they didn't kind of mess around and they were still allowed to be on TV.
Yeah, I know, right? That's like The Simpsons.
And speaking of weed, guess who's off the weed?
Snoop? I don't know who.
Kevin Smith.
Oh, why?
He just made a post. He's 11 weeks. He's done with it. He said.
Okay. Why should anybody care?
It's big. It's a thing he's putting out there. He's like, I'm off the weed, and it's a whole thing. And I think between him and Snoop were like Snoop and Woody Harrelson were like the leaders of the weed brigade.
I don't know, man. Back in the day, I remember he did an interview with High Times, and they left a whole bunch of weed with him, and he's freaking out. He's like, I can't have this. Get this out of my house. No. And he's, I don't know. He's not as hardcore as you think, buddy. I'd smoke one on the table any day. But it's just funny. Like again, Kevin Smith. Who cares, Kevin? I like old Kevin Smith when he was a chubby guy who just was quirky and weird. Now he feels like he has to let everybody know that. And plus, dude, have a burger. Please have a burger. Your head is this big and your body's this big. You look weird. I'm sorry. I bet you're healthy and I love you, but eat a burger. And I don't care that you're not smoking weed anymore. Great. Write a movie.
Well, he is. There's a new Mallrats coming out.
Okay. Well, I've been hearing that for a few years. I'm just saying, dude. Just saying. I hate to see these celebrities that I really enjoy when they were kind of independent and just kind of quirky and doing their own thing kind of rise to the top when they get all like, anyway. I don't want to hack on Kevin Smith because you lose touch. You lose touch. I do love Kevin Smith, but
what's the best line? What's one of the best movie lines ever?
Well,
Rocky 3.
Okay.
You haven't had that fire in your eyes since you won that belt.
Right, there you go, buddy.
The worst thing that can happen to a fighter, you got civilized.
He did. He's got civilized, dude.
That's fresh in my brain because we were on a Rocky.
Cool.
The kids are on a Creed marathon. So
right on. Okay, well let's get off of the Kevin Smith thing because that's also kind of makes me sad. Anyway, it does. It's like, dude. It's like I said. It's like have a burger.
You gotta watch Clerks 3 though. I keep telling you to watch.
Yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah, I will. Okay, so anyways, let's get to these ancient aliens, dude. We started the whole deal last week with the Twilight of the Gods, right? It was Chariots of the Gods, so that's Twilights of the Gods. That's the newer version of it, right? Good stuff. Did you watch the TV show back the 70s one from 1970? A little bit,
yeah. I mean,
it's hard to watch.
I like the first real episode of the Peru and everything. I think it's amazing. But there's some really good points there. And the other one that we didn't touch on last week that I loved was the people on the island. And and they would see like
the Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, no, just the regular people on the island that they would come and drop food. Like
yes.
They would come and drop food and stuff, and they were like, "Wah!" But it was
so they would build. So yes, so what that was an example that in the modern day tribes would have pilots from the mainlands come in their planes, and drop off goods for them.
Yeah.
So the natives would be like, well, they're gone. What the hell happened? Well, we'll build a shrine for them.
Yeah.
So they built a replica of their airplane that they flew in. All right, and nobody's picking up on this. Well, then they compare this to what they're finding in Egypt and whatever, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. These drawings, now we do have any of the drawings there on hand, Lonnie? These drawings that we're finding in Egypt and from the Macedonian times and such like that right there. This is wow. There's
well, we touched on it last week. You can't draw what you haven't seen.
Right. So what we're looking at here is the obvious signs that this is something different than what maybe we first thought. And but we were mentioning there, Brent, is that is again the tip of the iceberg that got these archaeologists, these scientists into thinking, okay, wait a minute, if this is how, modern culture, 70s, people in the Amazon who haven't had much human contact act, what's to say this is not how we would have acted back in the Egyptian days and so forth. So they're using different theories of man, woman, and relating them to what we have and what we learned. And now we're also learning how to decipher a lot more of these of the words and the phrases and the stories that they're finding. There's all kinds of stuff they found they can't decipher, right? I have some homework. Look at that. That looks like a light bulb. It could be a fruit to me with a snake in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's also.
But see, that's the one that's rumored to be a light bulb, right? Now that does look like a light bulb to me, but it also to me, now we can't see the head of it because of the Crier Media logo. Damn you, Crier Media! No. Sorry, there we go. That looks like a serpent, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so okay, you can put that Crier Media back up. Sorry about that. I'm just being an ass, but I'm glad you did that. So, see, my thought is that looks like a plant at the bottom, and that's a snake coming out from the top. And that's the other thing, that if you look back on a lot of the stuff from the Bible and that we know about, there's a lot of snakes and reptiles involved, especially from Adam and Eve. The snake in the Bible from Adam and Eve had arms. I don't know if they had legs, but it was a snake with arms. It was a reptile. So that's your first. And the reptile was the one that teased us in the wrong direction, apparently, right? And then slithered back underground. To me, that looks more like a surprise inside of something good, right? That could just be. But these are the things that they're looking back on now, is this kind of stuff. And the thought is that instead of angels, you just supplement the word ancient astronaut, which makes a lot of sense to me. Here's some more of the graphics and stuff that they made and created. Again, look at the details in that, right? That's really well done. And this is their interpretation of the Anunnaki, who in the Bible are the angels that came down to help us, to teach us. All right. So the ancient tribes call them the Anunnaki. They don't call them the angels, and they're astronauts. They're not angels with wings. Okay. So these are the leaders that came down to help us. They helped us jump, apparently, from the caveman stage to building these great pyramids and such, because one thing that a lot of religious folks will ignore is that time when we went from using spears and such to building pyramids. That's redonkulous. Now we're finding out now that they just built on top of structures. The structures below have been here from before before people even realized we had life on Earth. Homework for you for anyone is Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, and this is new. They have just discovered a whole new civilization. Is this it here?
No, this is it here.
There's Göbekli Tepe and this is the oldest site. They just discovered this in the 90s, my friend. And what they thought was this was an isolated spot, and people came from miles and miles to visit this. Well, hey, dum-dum, why don't you dig a little more to the right? It's a whole city. I'm being sarcastic. Some of these, I find that the archaeologists should have a scientist with them at times. Now, I know these are very intelligent people, smarter than I am, but to not do something because of your belief, as I make the finger quotes, really, to me, is redonkulous. You know what I mean? So look what they found. Look at that face. Look at those. Now, one thing that we're going to point out, we're not seeing any crosses here for our Christian friends. So if you want to pin all this back on the original Christian God, I don't think you can find the evidence for that. I'm going to
put that up on the bottom for a minute because I want to talk about this.
Okay, well, here's, and you mentioned this to me, so I put just like because I've been looking at this since 2005, looking at it, like researching it, doing my research. I can probably keep up with some pretty knowledgeable people on this. I would never talk over anybody who had knowledge about it. We haven't had anybody on the show other than John, who's really had supreme knowledge on it, but we didn't get a chance to talk about that yet.
My thing about this, about the whole thing is it's the one that makes the most sense to me. Right. And I said as much, I posted as much the other day on Twitter, just saying, this was a big religious weekend for everybody, but there was a lot of stuff floating around of, why are you gathering for Easter if you don't believe?
Right.
And I'm like, well, it's a valid point, and I think it started in the root of like our parents' generation and before were way more religious than us, and then it just you go to your gatherings because the grandma or your grandma's
it's handed down, right?
And it's just handed down, and then eventually it carves out its own way. So, but when this was introduced to me, as far as this theory goes, it made sense to me strictly from the graphic that Lonnie put up, which is, you can't draw what you can't see. So I based my whole study on that theory because you're kind of like, you can't, if you haven't seen it, you can't draw it, which, religious people, Christians, Catholics, everybody will have, there's proof of God and there's this and there's that. And it's like, but is there? I mean, and I'm not here to question anybody's faith. I'm just saying, is there? Because I don't know if I think there's probably remnants of things around from that time. And I do believe there was a guy named Jesus, and he was probably a carpenter, and he was very charitable, and there you go. And then from there, it kind of goes from there. But where this argument for me always ends up in, not so much an argument, but a different kind of discussion is the Christian side of it, or the religious side of it, will always go, yeah, I like your theory. Yeah, I like that people can only draw what they see, and they only like this, or they can, and yes, maybe some aliens did help build some of these structures. Lonnie, I'm just going to steal one for a sec, but maybe the aliens did help
the H's,
build this and all the rest of it. But God created them, and there's where the argument for me always goes, like, but you're not allowing me to not let that be so.
Well, you have to ask them too, where is the evidence of that? And as I stated for the beginning of this conversation, there's no evidence. There's evidence that they created it themselves and had everybody afraid of it and kind of bent it towards their way of making people good. But they were above the law. But man.
We don't get political on this. We don't get very religion-y on this. But as a general question, okay? The religious side of people are always searching for answers. Now, you search for answers, and you went on a little spiritual journey a couple of days ago. You're always searching for answers and things like that. What is it? I would be more of an agnostic approach, where I like this theory, but I really don't care where we came from, and I don't care where we're going. And I don't want to live in this scenario that I'm like in fear of either or. So I like to just be in the middle, but I like buying into this theory that this is the one that makes the most sense. It also doesn't really talk too much about what happens to you in the afterlife, at least not from what I've seen.
Well, so it does, yeah. I can tell you all about that if you want.
Yeah, sure. Because I haven't quite got there.
Okay, so back to the whole, when somebody says, the ancient aliens were created by God. Okay, well, which God? What God? You can't just say God. That's an excuse now. Right. Everybody has a different God, and people need faith. I'm not saying that you should not believe in God. But I'm saying you should question your gods these days. Question who's telling you about these gods. Who are you worshiping? Are you worshiping somebody who's giving you information, or are you actually worshiping somebody who you believe in? That's my only advice to anybody who believes in any kind of God. Find the God that you believe in and do it for the right reasons. Don't do it because of what you're told, right? So to move on from that, what was the second one we were going to talk about there?
Well, it was just the afterlife. Because
the afterlife. So here's there. So you need to, again, this is straight from the Bible, but they just do it a little differently. You know how they say you can't sin and you can't do this and you can't do that? You just have to be fine with everything you've done by the end of your life. If you're cool with everything you've done, then and you've forgiven yourself, then you have the chance to move on, and that takes you to the next step. If you've not learned your lesson, you're going to start over again. You got to do it again. That's why some people feel like they've lived past lives. Maybe they have, I don't know. But this is what the Anunnaki are this is the kind of thing that's there. Is you got to get it right And you can do it as many times as you want, and you learn each time. Each time you come back, you learn, and that's why some people say they have, man, I got this like deja vu that I did this before. Whoa, I can't do this because I got this feeling something bad's gonna happen. Like, apparently, those are built-in feelings that are built-in membranes in your brain. And on another side, okay, so that's what they say happens after when you die, is if you get it right.
Yeah, but is there are you going to
higher existence? You're moving on to the next galaxy or whatever. You don't know, but your soul, whatever, is moving on. If not, you start over again. Gotcha. If you didn't do it right, you screwed a bunch of people over, and you know it, and you feel really bad, and you didn't fix that. You didn't go back to those people and apologize to them, and you know it in your heart. Then you're going to start over again. This is what they're saying, right? Which is and that's kind of what the Bible says, right? See, if you understand the Bible, and it was retold by a normal human being of today's standards, and they weren't trying to threaten anybody, it would be a really good book. And you have to understand the Bible before you understand the ancient alien theory, right? That's what you got to understand there.
So then let me ask you this then, because I'm not a fan of, ruling by religion, which is a massive thing that's happening in the world, especially right now.
Yeah.
My this, my that, my guns, my rights, my whatever the fuck, just whatever. I'm not a big fan of that.
No, me neither.
So the fear that we're talking about from religion side, we should bring Dean on for this sometime. He's really good at this topic. But the religion side, their search for answers.
Are they searching anymore? Yeah.
Well, no, but okay, but it's so funny. The one point I'll make about what Dean had, over the pandemic and over the vaccine and all the bullshit, everyone's like going on. Dean's like, well, the Christians don't want to be here anyways.
Right.
Like, they can't wait to get the fuck out of here and go to their heaven. And
that's their fault. But they feel, and they've already forgiven themselves for everything they've done, right? And that's how they feel they can do it.
So what? So is this search for answers? It's, to me, is a massive distraction in life instead of just living your life.
Right.
Like, I try to just live my life. I have no desire to search for an answer.
Right.
Like, outside of studying on this and having some fun with it, but I have no desire to like search for an answer as to where we came from and where we're going.
That's so funny, because I'm the exact opposite. I was gonna ask our audience if anybody out there felt the same as I do, because I feel the need to know. And that's funny that you mentioned that, because I am the exact opposite. I need to know, and it bothers me that I don't know. And when I see something new, like this new Gobleteki, and it's proving people wrong that I questioned in my past, and it's proving them wrong, it makes me feel like, wow, what else was I wrong about? And I need to know. There's something inside me, though, dude, that needs to know where we came from, and I don't know why that is. Now, there's theories that some of us are star children and have this connection to the stars, and they need to know because they're here to teach. You know what I mean? But there's that. I find that I need to know. I was curious too if anybody else was out there that was like that felt the need. Like I want to know.
It vanished for me a little bit, and I mean this respectfully to, like, I don't get, like, anyone that wants to do it, go for it. But I am very much trying to live in the now, as far as it goes, and the reason I say that is more, you can plan and you can do whatever we want to plan. I think that for me personally. I like leaning on people like you to do the research, and I don't mean that to like be like, hey, Chris, do all the research for me. What I'm saying is like, if your theory, if you feel the need to go and get answers, then go get them and tell me what you found out. because for me, I'm like, I'm fine not knowing, but I am definitely super curious as to what you find out, and that's why I'll talk to Christians and people and be like, what did you find? What are you discovering on your journey? I'm around hundreds of people on tour on a daily basis that I'm traveling with that are from all walks of life, and you get the occasional guy that's all the way in on religion and just. Yeah, which is weird for our music industry to be part of that. But anyways, but I like to listen. But I also like to live in the now a little bit. Just for me personally, I like to just kind of be like, here I am living my life right now. Hey, Chris, what did you find out?
I feel that we've been lied to all our life, but where we're from and everything, which is obvious. You know what I mean? And I just feel this connection of needing to know. The other thing that I find and the more that I'm learning is that, yes, you do need somebody to talk to in life. You're going to have problems. I'm not a big believer in psychics. If you are, that's cool. Yeah. I truly believe that we have the makings in our noggin to find out what's wrong with us and what we need to do and where we need to go. You just need to ask yourself the right questions. You need to meditate, be quiet. Whatever kind of meditation to you is, if it's fishing, if it's working on your car, to me, that's meditating. That's clearing your mind and being free in the moment. Your vibration is in one. To me, if you're going to somebody else to tell you spiritually or mentally what you should be doing, you're doing the wrong thing. If you need to get emotions out and talk to somebody and help and have somebody help, and that's great. But as far as somebody reaching into your noggin and physically telling you what you need to do, I don't think personally, for me, that is no way. I've talked to people and they made me mad. And this is another thing that I discovered on my spiritual journey that I've started, is that as much as I think that I've become such a spiritual guru guy, I'm still an angry dude, man. There's a lot of things that piss me off and I don't think about them. And so not to dive too much into it, because I've just started this journey, and I'm going to do updates on my Twitter. If you want to see updates on my spiritual journey, friends, I'm not going to go into it big here. You got to follow me on my Twitter or on my Instagram. You'll see it all on there. My friends. And so that's my tip to anybody else too, who feels, because it's weird, because I like to know where we're from, because I feel confused all the time, and it's a weird feeling, because it could be the ADD, but even when I'm focused, I got too many ideas coming in, and then I just find a good calming thing is to find out where we're from, the connection. And I always told we're all connected, and I'm having a really hard time with that, because when I go to Walmart, I'm not connected to that douchebag I see over there who's pushing his wife around. You know what I mean?
I totally understand.
But again, personal journey struggles right there. I'm realizing that I didn't have to have somebody pull that out of my brain. I just thought about it, and I wish more people would look inside themselves for the answers, right?
See, I do that when I'm traveling, Chris. I try to, I have the benefit of I guess to your point, to back up a little bit on me, once I dove into this world a bit, and I can get paid to travel, and I can get an opportunity to go around and see things. My whole thing, and I wrote an article about it on Dean's site a while ago about how we're all the same. And I know that I'm not talking about being, you're not the same as the abuser from Walmart. What I'm saying is I was in Saudi Arabia watching a father take his kid to the park, and then somebody was getting groceries. It's the tiny little things.
Well, we're all human.
But we all, like, people. There's a lot of people that stay. There's a lot of people.
You need to go to the heart of Africa or something if you really want to. Right in the jungle.
I still think that the structure is still there too. You still have parents looking after their kids.
I'm looking way deeper than that. I'm looking on a like, we're all here for the same purpose. We're all on the same wavelength. Like, if that guy was left alone in my house, what would he do? If I was left alone in his house, he could trust me. If I was left alone in that guy's house, I'm not on the same wave. I'm not the same. This is my problem. I don't feel like I'm connected to everybody that way. But am I wrong in thinking that? Because sometimes when I go out and about and I feel like, hey, we're all connected, and I'll smile at people and they'll just look at me like I'm an asshole, and I'll feel like a jerk when I leave, right? So again, that's just my personal thing. So my point when I talk about these things, Brent, is I'm wondering if maybe other people are out there feeling and thinking the same way I am. Now I'm going to tell you, I've been contacted by the Illuminati a lot now. And they're all bullshit. I have been contacted by another group, a spiritual group. I don't want to name them, but they helped me with my journey that I started over the weekend. And if they're watching, peace and love. And it's something I hope I can talk about a little bit more in the future. But there are, so we found them. My wife found them through my discussions and my enlightenment here. So it's more that I can talk about. There are groups out there. So it's not a cult.
I'm a huge fan of connecting with yourself, Chris. I've always been.
It's not a cult.
A big fan of.
It's not a cult.
Oh no! If you drink the Kool-Aid.
I'm just.
But I'm all about it. I mean, that's why I don't really get too uppity about religion, only when it's used to rule and things like that. But whatever gives people calm and whatever gives people peace within themselves, I'm like, whatever you do is fine. Just but
one of the big rules is we're all connected, right? Like that's been passed down from like forever. We're all connected. I'm having such a hard time with that. My connection to some people is a throat punch, I feel.
I think what happens, you touched on the ADD and all the rest of it, but for me,
information, dude.
It's if I spend that time going down those paths.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time coming out of them because like yourself, like you want to learn more. You want to learn more.
Some people can't handle the information either. Like they can't see if you don't have ADD, and I have the ADHD or whatever.
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I'm self-diagnosing.
If you have a heavy, you know how heavy mine is, right, buddy? We've been around each other a long. You've seen me work. You've seen it work for me, and you've seen it work against me, right?
Yeah.
Like when we used to work on music, I had ideas coming in left and right. I had the bass idea, the drum idea, and how it should look in the end. You could do whatever you wanted, but I had the idea all at once. So when I'm doing things in my day-to-day life, today, I'm outside, I'm raking the lawn. And you know what I'm thinking about next? The trees that I'm going to trim down in the forest. And then after that, I'm going to take those trees and put them to the right. Boom. I didn't even realize what I'm doing raking. I'm done it. By this time, I'm over cutting the tree down and thinking what I'm going to do. Dude, it's information. And there's a lot of times when I'm talking to people and I'm finishing their sentences in my head and I'm, you know what I mean? Like it's just, so that's ADD if you're not privy to it. So it's not, again, I've walked away from many people and looked over my shoulder and had them go like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like lots of times. Of course, adding alcohol to it is not the greatest thing in the world for it either. But I've had that happen a lot to me. And I've come to the conclusion now that that's me. It's not me, it's them. Because I have ADD. I tell everybody publicly now, and I feel much better now that I do say that. It's not me, it's them. People know what I'm about. And I have a bunch of young students that have numerous issues because I don't think they're issues, but the school's doing such. And I tell them all, man, it's not you, it's them. Look at the people that are giving you a hard time. Yeah. Do you really care about that 52-year-old guy who's out hunting and doing the things you don't like? I'm just using hunting as a reference because this is the opposite of my students, right?
Sure.
It's like, do you really care what that person thinks of you? That, you know, well, actually, no. Well, then, dude, move on, man. And they're like, okay, right, yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, you're only going to, what is it? There's 5 people you're going to be able to rely on in your life. Mm-hmm. When it's all said and done, there's 5 that'll get on a plane and come rescue you, right?
Right.
And of all the thousands and hundreds or whatever people that we meet, and we know that, you know, that there's only 5. I think that number can be larger for some, depending on what.
Well, their families too, right?
What their family and all the rest of it.
But that can cause a lot of havoc, though, as well.
You think of people in and out of your life, though. It's very interesting.
Well, you got to look at the demo. Like a lot of people have a lot of friends too, but it's like, yeah, but his brother, or man, that guy's wife, or wow, her husband. There's always like, you know, when you have it's like Jimmy, or not, was it the Doors there? Jim Morrison said, "Yeah, I prefer a feast of friends to a family gourmet or something like that." But
interesting.
Yeah, and it's I'm the same way. I like quiet, but anyway, yeah. So and I'm not like this hippie guy who walks around. You know me, right? I'm not a hippie guy who walks around with his.
You're in a different space.
But again, I just looking for those answers, and I find the more I find them, like when I turn on the TV and I find out all these people were lying over the years, I'm like, I knew it. Hey, dude, perfect example. When I grew up, I thought that Hulk Hogan really was this guy that drank milk and took his vitamins. What a boring guy I thought. What an anti-rock and roll guy. Then you get older and you're like, holy shit, was I ever lied to? Question things, my friends. That's just a
Don't ever meet your heroes. Don't ever meet your heroes.
Well, dude, that's just a perfect example of question things, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to question things. You're not annoying. Everybody's getting mad because people are questioning things these days. No, fuck off. I'll question everything I want. And I'll question 5 things at one time because I got ADD. Take that. Right on.
I
Unite.
like the questioning. I don't like the immediate shutdown that's happening. So
What's
I think
that?
Well, just in everything. It's like, okay, this week it's the trans community. Next week it's going to be the weed community. The week after that it's going to be the this community. And it's like everyone's getting their since the Me Too thing especially, but everyone's like coming for everyone now. And
it's not good.
Everyone's, and you know, some of it needs to be addressed for sure, and then some of it needs to be given a little bit of rope. So you know, it's a very interesting kind of dynamic.
Getting back to the Bible and the Anunnakis and all that, and the whole first story we started with. Sodom and Gomorrah, how everybody's being douchebags and they had to come down and start over. You know, they keep saying Jesus is coming back, the Anunnaki's coming back. Where are they? I don't, you know. Again, it's more things that make you think, okay, are we just being lied to? Is this
well,
whole
we have to
thing
probably
just
assume
a scam?
Yes. We have to assume
this whole thing,
yes.
everything we've discussed, Brent, is just a scam. It's all a scam.
But it's entertaining.
There's your conspiracy theory.
But it's entertaining.
It is. Anyway, that what an intense conversation. I love it. Anyway, spirituality and ancient aliens kind of goes together. And I find that when I lock them together, have a great time. And that book's great, folks. The other one that you want to look into is for homework is Göbekli, and that is in Turkey, and that is huge. And if you have any other spiritual awakeness stories or any ideas, or just if you're with me, just give me a hell's yeah or something, man. It's nice to know you're not alone in these things, right? Which is really, really cool. But it's cool. Well, I'd love discussing it with you because we both come in on different angles, but we both respect each other's deal on. And it's funny how you the ADD, I think, can take in all this information, and where other people are just with their, because you're very straight ahead with your business a little more, and you're like, well, I don't got time for that, man. I got to keep moving forward. Where I'm like, I need all this extra information in life just to figure out what's next. And it's just a yearning. It's like my next show, my next big gig. It's like, and sometimes I look for that because I'm an artist too, and a writer, and I love that stuff for writing. I'm working on a couple of new things.
I went there. I went internal on a few things over the years. They're kind of like,
see, the trick is to stick with it, right? That's when you notice, like, as I say, since 2005, I've been coming in and out of this. Past 5 years, I've been like, boom. Now, dude, I'm documenting it. I'm going for it. That's what Dean said. He's going for it. And he was exactly right. He was exactly right. I'm going for it. It's time. What's that? Yeah, we're going for it. Anyway, that's what Dean was right. I'm going for it. So anyway, dude. So that was a good episode. I love talking about the ancient aliens. Basically, let's wrap this up. Is it just supplement angel for ancient alien or ancient astronaut when you're reading the Bible? Is basically what this all boils down to, right? There's so much more facets that we could look into. Now they're finding new things. There's, as I said, there's no, for the Christian folks who say, well, God created everything. Okay, well, you can't do that anymore. Honestly, you can't. That's like saying, how come you're so good at hockey? Because I got a hockey stick. Come on, man. That's not, because you practice, right? There's reasons. That's my point. Yeah, like Connor McDavid, why are you such a good hockey player? It's my stick. No, it's not, dude. You practice and practice and practice, and maybe there's a little bit in the genes. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that Christianity isn't this thing that was handed down the way some things that we're ignoring are being handed down. Civilizations were handed down. Farming was handed down. Raising animals was handed down. Unity was handed down. Teaching was handed down. Yeah. Fighting war and fear was not handed down. So to the Christians who say God created all of this, you got to draw a line and decide what your God created, because your God did not create the same things that the God that I believe in created. That's my point of view.
Well, that's I think Ricky Gervais had said it best to what's his name? One of the late night guys, Stephen Colbert.
Right.
And Stephen was he's a Christian. He was pushing extremely hard for Ricky to buy into it.
Right.
And he says to Colbert, he goes, "You believe that your God is everything." And he's like, yeah. And he goes, but you discount the other 3,000 religions. He's like, to me, God is everything. And Ricky said, well, I only believe in one less God than you. Because you believe in
everything, but he's saying
you believe in only one. You believe in only one, and discount the 2,999 others. He goes, I just believe in one less than you do. And Colbert was like, oh. You nailed him. Good. It was good. So
yeah.
Again, to each their own. I
know.
don't care. I do care when it's used to rule, and that's the biggest problem for me.
Dude. You have to look at yourself. Why are you following this in your life? Why are you making this your life's journey? That's my point. Is don't be a sheep. And that goes back to questioning everything, dude. Question stuff. You don't have to question the obvious, man. If it's not going to affect you, that's fine too. But if you feel that something's irking you and you might not be true, question the damn thing. Right?
Yeah.
All right, dude. So that was a good episode. I appreciate talking about that kind of stuff, Brent, because I don't get to talk to it very much. And if I get to talk about it with my best buddy, it's even better.
It's rad.
It is right on, folks. So next week, I don't know what we're going to do, but it'll be something decent. And I'm going to have a question up on Twitter. Okay?
Well, our friends in Tuke have a brand new song and a brand new rock video. I'm going to see what their availability is like. Maybe we'll get them on to talk a little rock and roll.
That'd be great. And see if they need an alternative cover.
And our friends in Protest the Hero just sold out a show in Kingston. There, you going to go to that?
Oh, I'm going to that. When is that? Because I'm on the list. I
just saw that it was sold out. So good for them.
Oh, I'm going there. Me and Rhodey will be doing a little bit of something on there. Trust me.
What's the other thing I was going to tell you about? Oh yeah, so the Star Wars news. They're actually making a Rey.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll discuss that at a later date because I got some theories. They're probably gonna fix it the way we thought they're gonna fix it. I bet.
Hopefully.
All they have to do is change Rey's dad.
That's right.
Mom and dad. That's all they got to do. And I got a good feeling. I think Mary Jade Skywalker might be making a play in the future here. Woo! There's some ties between Obi-Wan and the girl that's in the Obi-Wan solo show there.
Great dad for Rey.
Chewie.
Gracious Gary.
Yeah, my dad. Yeah, there you go.
Gracious Gary. How you doing, bud? All right.
If the hockey game's over, he's watching.
And Dangerous Dorothy.
Did they win? I don't know if they won or not. Did the Leafs win? Anyway, we'll find out later. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. It's funny. We always get the most viewers at the end of the show. I guess they're just waiting to see us get off the air for the next person.
That's right. Thanks, everybody. We will be back next week and then very soon.
Thanks to the Crier Media. And if you want to see more on my spiritual journey or just, stuff that I do, a lot of my artwork, my Machete company, just check out my Twitter and everything. Chris Machete. All right. So, you know what, my friends? Party on. Be excellent to be excellent to each other, Brent. And who else is the most important person to be excellent to, buddy?
Yourself.
Yeah, right? High fives.
All right, man.
Peace and love.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.